The Ethereum killer, the sunshine state of crypto until recently. Now, a crypto winter threatens to freeze the Solana party. But is this a temporary chill or the start of a full-blown blizzard? Today, we're diving into the daily charts for Solana, one of the most exciting cryptocurrencies out there. We've got some intriguing patterns and indicators to discuss, so let's jump right into it. Okay guys, here we have the one-day chart for Solana, and we're using Binance as our data source. Now, if you're into technical analysis, this is going to be a real treat for you. First up, let's talk about those crucial moving averages. The white line coming through the chart here is the 200-day exponential moving average. It's a fantastic tool for identifying the long-term trends. When the price is above this line, it generally suggests a bullish sentiment, but when it's below, it's often a bearish sign. Next up, we have the blue line, which is the 50-day exponential moving average, and the yellow line, which is the 50-day simple moving average. Both of these moving averages help us understand the medium-term momentum. The interplay between these lines and the price action can give us some powerful signals. So at the moment, you can see we are currently lower than the 50 exponential moving average and lower than the 50 simple day moving average, which currently sit here at $156.34 on the EMA and $157.56 on the SMA. The 200-day EMA was tested out yesterday when we had a wick move down to $127.95. The current 200 EMA sits at $130.01. This is still a trend filter. Obviously, we are above it at the moment, indicating that we have still got some potential bullish momentum to the upside, and the upward trend still remains true today. Now, we are, of course, going to be looking at some Elliott wave theory stuff in a moment, which will obviously give us a slightly different outlook than just the exponential moving averages and simple moving averages. But when we take a look at these, as just from a traditional simplistic way of kind of trying to analyze the charts, we can see that we are still in a good position for Solana. We are still looking reasonably bullish. We are above the 200-day EMA, and we're in that long-term trend to the upside. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the yellow WXY pattern that's forming right now. The WXY pattern is a complex corrective pattern in Elliott wave theory. Here, it's indicating a short-term bearish correction. We see the initial wave down, labeled W, followed by a corrective wave up, labeled X. This is the one that hit our expected range, just up here between $185 and $198. And we're currently in the Y wave, which is pushing the price lower. So how low are we expecting Solana's price action to go? Well, under a WXY pattern like this, we have got our Y wave targeted range down here at $104.26. That does seem incredibly bearish, and we do have to consider that this does mean a move lower than the 200-day exponential moving average, which, as I said earlier, is our long-term trend for Solana. So if we were to lose support of the 200 EMA, it does indicate a more bearish move to the downside. Now, $104.26 would be an absolute steal in my opinion. It would be a very healthy correction. It would actually be maybe unhealthy for some, but around 50.46% from the swing high that we had in March of 2024. Now, I know that can sound kind of scary. We're talking about a 50% correction, and I'm also saying it's kind of healthy and normal. This is because a lot of profit taking has to happen during these kind of bullish momentum moves to the upside. Now, if I zoom out of this, I'm going to highlight a few other corrections that also seemed very scary at the time. Back in December of 2023, we saw a correction also down here, if I can actually snap that on, of 37.48% in January of 2024. It was a pretty healthy correction back then as well. If we go back a little bit further, we can also see that we had a correction on July 2023 down to a low over in the 11th of September, which was 46%. These moves were then preceded with a fantastic run to the upside each time. And this is a very corrective pattern as indicated with Elliott wave theory, a three-wave overlapping kind of candlestick pattern like this is an indication of short-term moves. Now, I'm not saying guaranteeing that we're going to go down to $104 because that's very, not necessarily something that we're going to see. It's very unrealistic to kind of have guarantees in anything, shape or form when it comes to crypto. But what I do want to say is there's a high probability that we do move down to this area, in my humble opinion. My minimum expectation, though, would get met at $116 for a double bottom scenario. So we want to be aware that, we can continue this run to the upside and kind of be done at $116, I think there's actually a more probability that we do see continuation to the downside, and we're kind of targeting out somewhere between $104 and $116. And of course, we have that wild card where we could potentially come down a little bit lower than $100 as well for Solana. Okay, so I want to be very clear to everyone that there's no guarantees. We obviously are finding great support at the moment for Solana, specifically on its 200-day EMA, but we have to be aware that our Elliott wave theory structures here, which have a high probability of success, are indicating that we are likely to see continued slippage to the downside. If we go ahead and throw on smart money concepts, we have equilibrium just up at this previous area of resistance, also an area where the 50 EMA and 50 SMAs are also hanging out. So we do have serious resistance, meaning that if we do get a relief rally, which I do think is something that we should be expecting, I'm not expecting us to pierce up higher than that $185 that we kind of found resistance on before. And I do think there's going to be a reasonable amount of resistance on this equilibrium area, which was also an area of previous support and is labeled up here at $162.45. Okay, so there's a lot of things to kind of consider here, lots of things to kind of keep in mind when it comes to the Solana price action, and also some fantastic opportunities, in my opinion, as to kind of where I think we want to be dollar cost averaging and building out those positions for the next big surge to the upside. So what does this mean for Solana? Are we heading for lower lows, or is this just a temporary setback? So with all of this in mind, the crucial support levels to watch are around $157.58 and $156.38. These are key areas where we might find some buying interest. However, if the bearish momentum continues, we could be looking for further declines towards the $104 level. And don't forget, the 200-day EMA is currently providing some support. If we break below this level, it could spell trouble for Solana in the short term. But here's the twist. If Solana can hold these support levels and the broader market conditions improve, we could see a reversal. Keep an eye on that resistance at $162.45. Breaking above this could be a very bullish signal. But here's the twist. If Solana can hold these support levels and the broader market conditions improve, we could see a reversal. Keep an eye on resistance around $162.45. Breaking above this could be a very bullish signal. And guys, if you found today's video useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. And if you haven't checked this video out, what are you doing? Give this one a click and stay well informed with everything that's going on in the crypto space.